Welcome back to The Lead, the pop culture lead now. It's one of the biggest award shows of the year, and yet many think of the Golden Globes as having all the restraint and refinement of a tween girl at a One Direction concert when it comes to its celebrity obsession. And that's putting it nicely. Here's how former host Ricky Gervais summed it up.
Golden Globes are to the Oscars what Kim Kardashian is to Kate Middleton, basically. Bit louder, bit trashier, bit drunker, and more easily bought.
So, when the nominations were announced this morning, imagine the shock on the faces of critics everywhere when they learned the Hollywood Foreign Press Association passed on the opportunity to have one of the biggest stars on the planet front and center as a nominee. Oprah Winfrey nowhere on the list. She failed to get a Best Supporting Actress nod for her role in Lee Daniels' The Butler. And she's not the only A-lister to make this year's snub list. So is it a sign that the Honey Boo Boo of Hollywood award shows is suddenly trying to go highbrow? Joining me now live from New York is Milena Rysick. She's a writer for the New York Times Carpetbagger blog. Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm great.
Oprah and snub are two words we rarely hear together, but she wasn't the only shocker on the snub list. So what gives?
Yeah, you know, well, that's one of the reasons that we watch these award shows is we never know what's going to happen. So Oprah was a surprise. She won a nomination from the Screen Actors Guild yesterday. They cared about her performance in The Butler. But some other people were left off the list. The movie Saving Mr. Banks with Emma Thompson. Emma only got the nod, but her co-star Tom Hanks, who plays Walt Disney, he did not. That's a kind of a surprise, although the Globes were able to get Tom in there as a nominee for Captain Phillips, so he is going to show up. But overall, you know, there are always movies that are missing and TV shows that are missing, and that's part of the reason that we care about this stuff, is we get to talk about it.
And one of the things about the Globes, as opposed to, for instance, the Oscars, is that it's not an academy, it's not a number of directors voting for who they think is the best director, et cetera. It's kind of a mysterious group, members of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. They've been criticized for a long time. Do you think they're responding to this criticism, or just further proving that they play by their own rules?
Yeah, I think they are kind of an idiosyncratic organization in Hollywood. I mean, they are not critics groups, as you said. They're not industry professionals. They are mostly freelance writers for publications that are around the world, but not some of the more well-known publications, maybe some of the smaller ones. But they are present in Hollywood, and they are active, and they do pay attention to what happens, and they watch the movies. So this is their way of kind of throwing their weight around, perhaps, and showing, we have an opinion too. We may be showing you different things than the Oscars, but hey, that's why we watch the show. They like to tout themselves as having the most stars per capita because they've got TV stars and movie stars. And so this is a way to show we can do what we want.
People also watch the Golden Globes because they think it can be sometimes a predictor of what the sentiment will be for the Academy Awards. But does this year's list of nominees add to what is already a fairly confusing Oscar race?
It is a really confusing Oscar race. There's no real front runner. There's a lot of great movies this season. Everyone I've talked to this year, all the people who were nominated, your Alfonso Cuaróns, your David O. Russells, they were especially excited to be nominated this year. And one of the reasons we do watch the Globes is as a predictor, but over the last maybe decade or so, they haven't had as great a track record at saying what the eventual Best Picture winner at the Oscars is going to be. And that's actually because of the way that they schedule the award shows. I mean, this sounds very glamorous, but it's because of the way when they make their dates for the award shows. By the time the Globes happen, the Oscar nomination ballots are already in. So that is not going to affect who gets actually nominated for the Oscars.
We only have a little time left, but I want to know, give me the top two contests that you're going to be watching at the Golden Globes.
You know, the Best Actor race this year at the Globes and eventually down the line at the Oscars is a really tight race. The Globes have an advantage because they split it up into drama and comedy, so they get to nominate twice as many people. But as far as for the Oscars are concerned, there are at least a dozen people fighting for those 5 slots. And I think the screenplay category is also going to be an interesting one to watch because there's a lot of original stories this year that people are paying attention to.
What else in terms of the screenplays that you're talking about? Which ones do you think are really in contention?
Well, the American Hustle is a late-breaking movie to the awards race, and it's a real talkative movie. It got a nomination for the Globes. So that's going to be one to watch. And the writer was also the director, David O. Russell. And the way that he makes movies is unusual. He allows people to kind of add lines as they're filming in addition to writing the script. So that's going to be an interesting one to see play out.
All right, Malena Ryczek, thank you so much. Appreciate it.